Welcome to The Breakdown. I'm your host, Official Burn, and this is the show where we break everything down. And I got a question for you. Is it Make America Great Again or Make America Hate Again? We're here to talk about the young monster who decided to kill two people and wound one other at the protest that took place in Kenosha, Wisconsin. If you're not familiar with the story, there's some police officers that killed another unarmed black man. His name was Jacob Blake. And right after that, they had some protests, some violent protests, and you had some militia groups that decided to come out to Wisconsin to protect local businesses. And the crazy thing about it is these militia groups are not even from this town. So why are you coming all the way out to protect? Let me guess. They now feel empowered to stand up for what they believe in, which is white supremacy. Trump has made America, or the white folks in America that are racist, feel as if they can now stand up for what they believe in. Because see, before 2016, you'd had to go back a couple of decades in order to find the unrest that you currently see. Now, of course, we had the Rodney King riots. We had the 60s protests. And remember, these things are done because we have to shed light and make light of what's happening to black folks. But let's get into this video of this monster explaining why he came down to Kenosha, Wisconsin.
I am at that business, sir.
Back that way from my people, man.
We don't have non-lethal.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property?
Yes, we are.
Now, as you can see from that video, he seems to be a nice young gentleman who wants to protect businesses, right? But that's only in the eye of a white supremacist or someone who does not understand the law. He is not a police officer. Why does he feel like he has to protect the business? This is not your jurisdiction, bro. Go back to where you came from. You don't even live in Kenosha, Wisconsin. You live 20 miles away. But the disturbing part of the whole thing is he shot people. And also, people pointed it out that he shot people to the police and he was allowed to walk past the police and get arrested later on miles away from where he actually shot people. He walked past the police with his hands up, probably thinking that he was going to get arrested, but he wasn't because of his white privilege. Let's take a look at that video.
Hey, he just shot them! Hey, dude right here just shot them! Dude right here just shot all of them down there! That dude just shot them right there!
yes, Trump has made America want to hate. This is what we went through as a people for years, and it's now going backwards. And that's the reason why he says, make America great again. Because at what point of time was America great? America has never been great. This is an imperialistic country. We have taken over another land. The history of the white man is imperialistic. But you took over this land, and then you say that you want to make it great again. At what point of time was it great? Maybe in Charlottesville, when you had marchers or protesters who you thought were positive, who were screaming out negative things. And then you say that they were good people on their side.
Putting what you're calling the alt-left and white supremacists on the same moral plane.
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, or you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
On both sides, sir, you said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
Neo-Nazis started this. They showed up in
Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville
Excuse me.
to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as you, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very naming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Robert E. Lee are not the same.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him?
You sit on both sides, but let's just point out the fact that they have a side, and their side is negative. There's no way that you can say there are good people partaking in that type of protest, the tiki torch protests. With the Walmart and Target and just bought a whole bunch of tiki torches and trying to scare somebody. But anyway, those were mostly white supremacists. Trump is making people feel as if they can now do what they want. He's making these white supremacists feel like they can do everything they always wanted to do. He speaks in code. You guys may not hear what he actually says, but when he says there's good people on both sides, why is he still in office? Because you can always argue that point. You can always argue that point of view. You could say, yeah, there's some good in everyone. Everyone has some type of good in them. It may not be for the specific subject that's taking place, but yes, everyone has some sort of good in them. Maybe they love their children. They're good people to their children. See, the point is this man knows how to word things so that he cannot be held accountable for everything else that's happening because of his actions. Yes, I said it. Make America hate again. You got monsters out here shooting people and protecting businesses at 17 years old. 17 years old. And the business is boarded up and gated up. What are you protecting, bro? Nothing. You felt like today is the day that I can legally kill me a nigga. I'm a fish you burn. And you've just watched the breakdown.